There's nothing better than a warm chocolate chip cookie. I'm gonna show you how to make one right now. So we're gonna start up with our butter. That's 2.5 sticks. Soften to room temperature. We've got 1 cup of brown sugar and 1/2 cup of white sugar. Now we're going to cream the butter and sugars together. We're beating it until it's light and fluffy. And when you're beating this, you're actually adding some air into the butter. And when the cookies bake, they'll bake a lot plumper and higher because you've integrated that air, which is a good thing. Brown sugars will give your cookies some chew, while white sugar will give them some crispness. I prefer my cookies a little chewy, so I like to go a little heavy on the brown sugar. So this is looking good. We can start adding our vanilla and our eggs. I'm gonna start with 1 egg at a time. Just get them integrated evenly. Egg number 2. And now we're gonna add our vanilla. I'm using 2 teaspoons of vanilla. This is a 2 teaspoon measure, pretty fancy. I found that using cheap vanilla works just as well as expensive vanilla in cookies. I would save the nice stuff for ice cream and other things where vanilla is taking center stage. All right, so I'm gonna set our wet ingredients to the side for now. And we'll mix up our dry ingredients. We have 3 ingredients going in our dry ingredients bowl. Number 1, flour. This is just all-purpose flour. Ingredient number 2, baking soda. And salt, last ingredient. We call for 3/4 of a teaspoon. I like my cookies a little salty, so I might add a little extra. And we're just gonna whisk this to combine. Now it's time to bring them together. Just gonna add these. Maybe I won't add the whole thing yet. And add the rest. Okay, this is looking good. Ready for the chocolate chips. I like semi-sweet chocolate chips, but you could do milk chocolate, you could do dark chocolate, you could chop up chocolate bars if you wanted, that's really nice. But you need chocolate, because it's a chocolate chip cookie, okay? Lovely. So if you were gonna add nuts or dried fruit, this would be the time to do it, but we're just gonna keep it classic. I think it's time to put these babies on a baking sheet and get them into the oven. Baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Another important tool I love is this little cookie scoop. The best part about this is that when you're scooping, you're getting the exact same amount in every cookie, and then they bake evenly, which is really important. If you don't have one of these, try to make sure that you're getting your scoops about the same size so that you can have an even bake. Make sure you're giving your cookies a little bit of a space, about 1 inch or 2, because they're gonna spread in the oven and you don't want them crowding on each other and squishing into each other. I almost forgot something very important that we do a lot here at Delish. It's sort of a little food styling tip. We like to press chocolate chips onto the top of the cookies before we bake them. That way they just look extra abundant, full of chocolate. Just makes them look a lot better. We've had this oven preheated to 375 and these babies are going in. I'm gonna set the timer for 10 minutes. They likely won't be done by then, but I just wanna start checking because you don't wanna burn your cookies. See you later. So it's been 10 minutes. I'm just gonna take a peek at them. They're getting a little golden on the bottom, but not quite there yet. I'm gonna give them a couple more minutes. These look perfect. Starting to get a little golden on the outside. Still a little squishy on the inside. But if you wait until they're completely brown when they're in the oven, when they cool and they continue cooking, they're gonna get a little overcooked. So it's better to pull them before they're completely golden. And we're just gonna let these guys cool on the tray for a couple minutes before we move them to the cooling rack. They smell incredible. Just dunked this in milk and I'm so excited. Oh my God. This is the perfect cookie because it's loaded with chocolate. It's got the caramelized crunchy edges, but it's chewy and soft in the middle. It's just 10 out of 10. Delicious. This is the best day I've ever had at work.